This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, along with, I don't have a special name for you. Like, I have dubbed them E's.
Yep.
Then I have the one, the only Brandon Swanson.
Yep.
Our fellow man-child,
Johnny Carlick.
What is yours going to be when you're on the other table tonight?
I feel like you got to come up with that. I can't nickname myself.
Here's the thing. You and I are only like this on days like today. Dave Oster, by the way.
Hey, everybody.
And Sean is not here. You may notice, hey, we're not ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls today. We're not DXing it.
No.
With the tag team of Road Dogg and Mr. Perfect, but
the Ass Man.
The Ass Man. But Sean is in Nashville. Dave and I are covering the ship. I only noticed, unless it's a day like today or a Patreon podcast, you and I are not in this situation because Too Old the Game, you're over here.
That's true.
I'm over there, so
That's
you're
true.
the one starting it. So I have to come up with a special thing for Dave, and I'm going to need your guys' help with that. But this is the fast break where we talk about NBA, everything going down in the NBA. We got a show today. The Cavaliers, they get rid of their head coach. We got to talk about, not necessarily, we're going to react to Ty Lue being gone, but where do the Cavs go moving forward? We're also going to look at Luke Walton. Should he be fired? Should he not be fired? And then, Dave, it is a Seanless fast break, so what are we going to talk about to end the show?
We all know what that means.
We talking
Chicago Bulls
here on the podcast, how we should feel after the first few games into this young season. I think, 9 games into this young season for the Bulls? But we will end the show with the Bulls. Going to start off, though, with Wet Boys and Fantasy Update. Before we do that, quick housekeeping. I'll get through it as quick as possible. Patreon.com/MostValuedPodcast. You want to be like Z, Pat, Matt, Bill. I'm trying to throw out. Hubertus is one of them. That we've got a lot more. So, all of this in my head.
Our boy Jake.
There. Jake, our boy Jake, he's going to get mad if I don't say his name.
He passed that 1 year mark.
If you want to join the MVP Patreon family, that link is down below in the description. $10 gets you on a podcast. You can pay $10 just to tell me I'm wrong, and I will be like, okay, that's cool. And we'll have a discussion of you telling me that I'm wrong. Also, we have T-shirts MVP. Dave's actually the model.
We need to get an update now that I've lost a little bit of weight.
We do. Well, and Brandon also. So Brandon's in the running. He wants his face as the model. I told him he can't until he wears it on a podcast.
I was say
he's got to wear the shirt on a podcast.
I rep the shirt so much, and I look better than Brandon.
So you've earned the motto of the MVP on mostvaluedpodcast.com. Brandon, you want to be it, you got to wear the shirt on a podcast. And then last but not least, go over to iTunes, Apple Podcasts. Please give us a 5-star rating or whatever you think we're worth. But I hope you give us that 5-star rating. Let us know why you like listening to the podcast each and every week. But Dave, we were going to start the podcast off. I said last week that, hey, we could mix this up like we did last year, but we're not for this week. We're just going to keep it rolling as the first
run right
segment.
into it.
We've got a little bit of a groove. Wet Boys, these are the guys that went off this week. Basically, the Fast Breaks MVPs. That's how I'm going to say it. Our
weekly MVPs
of the week. And I'm going to keep it true to form as Sean would. So instead of throwing it to you, usually he goes to me first.
So, Ricky, who is your wet boy of the week?
Mine's got to be Derrick Rose. I mean, 50. It's a one-game wet boy for Ricky Widmer, where Derrick Rose, 50-point performance on the week, 21 points on the week, 5 assists. This man, I will say it right here. He said he wants to win it. This is going to be your 6th man of the year. However, you told me he may start too many games for the T-Wolves if a certain somebody gets traded.
Also to consider, following that 50-point performance,
putting him in the starting lineup anyways.
He got taken out of the next game with some ankle soreness real quickly. Or not the next game, but the following against the Warriors. Ankle soreness out after, I think, 5 minutes of playing
Anything
time.
with the knees and ankles with Derrick Rose at this point, it's like, ooh.
That man's lower half. Lower body injury. We'll just go straight to coach, Yep. I feel bad for him because, he came off one of those. That was a defining performance of his time with the Timberwolves. So it was awesome to watch him, roll back the clock, play it out. I mean, he's in his prime technically.
And the best part of it was in the interview, so the whole kind of stadium can hear, I worked my ass off, man. I was like, take that, Jimmy. Yep. That's that dagger of oh, take this. I worked my ass off.
Jimmy's problem isn't with Derrick Rose, though. It's with that soft young kid.
Wiggins and Cat. How about you? Who is your wet boy before we get to Sean?
My wet boy of the week is the entire Warriors starting lineup.
We had it last year. It's an annual thing.
We gave it to the Suns last year.
Early on, it's what team is going to be a wet boy.
This year, it's hard to look at this Warriors team and like...
The Warriors or the Globetrotters?
I mean, shit, that ball moves so much. But, okay, start off with the easiest one. Klay Thompson dropping a new record for three-pointers made in a single game, which 14. Entirely impressive and also hysterical because it was against our Chicago Bulls. And, I mean, it was feed Klay the ball every single play. Nobody else is trying to score. It was just give Klay the ball, let him take a step and shoot, step and shoot, step and shoot. It was so cool. It was a great performance. He, of course, throughout the whole week, put up 27.5, shooting 47% from three, 52% overall. And if you remember right, he was shooting about 18% from three before this week. Just abysmal. So, huge bump for him. Steph going out there and dropping 36 and 6 with a steal a game. Incredible shooting rate. 51, 47, 91 for splits. Just doing everything. Like, he's had a monster week. Doesn't get easier because then you just go Kevin Durant as the next guy up, and he, being the guy in the back, he's just like whatever going on.
The snake in the grass.
26, 7 and 7 with a steal a game, shooting incredibly well. 56, 44. And then, final man up is just Draymond Green. They're Mr. Everything.
Draymond smash.
He does a little bit of everything. He plays defense. He plays offense. He scores. He rebounds. He on the week, 9, 9, and 11 with almost 1.8 steals a game and 1.5 blocks. He just hits every stat category. Just damn. It's the worst. Of course, they're 9-1 right now or something crazy. It's just disgusting.
Two things. First off, for the wet boy counter,
yep.
Do I put just Warriors in
You
one?
write the Warriors.
Or do I because Steph Curry has a wet boy. Technically, is this another wet boy for Steph?
It would count as a second wet boy for any Warrior who has a...
So I'm going to put Warriors, and then whatever number that is...
Right. It's a +1 for all four of these guys because they all deserve it.
I just didn't know if I should put just those four names or hey, we're going to also throw DeMarcus Cousins has a wet boy because technically he's on the team.
He might... We'll asterisk DeMarcus out.
Like a Jones or I'm trying to think of these other guys, Iguodala.
We're going to asterisk those guys out. I'm just going with the starting lineup. Four. Yeah, and that's... Look, they had a great game with Brooklyn. They just dumpstered all over Chicago. The Pelicans was a good matchup. And obviously the Minnesota game with Jimmy Butler deciding he was going to play.
But who gets it? Jordan Bell or cash consideration?
Cash considerations all day.
Cash considerations gets that wet boy.
All day.
Yeah, for me it was... The thing that I found the funniest this week was I'm watching First Take, and they were like, Klay Thompson is the best three. Best three. You got your number one scorer, number
third
two.
option on your team.
Of all time. Better than for me, growing up for us, the Bulls, a Dennis Rodman.
Rodman wasn't our third scorer.
The number three.
It was Ron Harper.
Jordan was not just
Jordan, Pippen.
Yeah, not just scorer, but the guy on your team, the name on your team.
Yeah.
Where he would go to any other team, be a 2 or a 1, but might be happier just being with the
Ron Harper was a 1 before he came to the Bulls. He was a legit.
No, I'm saying on the Bulls, he was not 1, 2, or 3 name wise.
Yeah, no, probably not. He didn't have a big personality. But I mean, Chris Bosh was another great 3.
Yep.
Those Miami Heat days, it was pretty good for him. But,
and then I will let you give us Sean's wet boy.
All right, so Sean's wet boy, and I have
the disclaimer.
So this is not my wet boy, and I have to read out loud the prepared statement by Sean Anderson. Because,
did he actually give you a prepared statement?
No, I just asked if he wanted me to say it. I'm going to say it. So his wet boy of the week is Aaron Fox, who, all credit to him, he's done something that's truly incredible. He had a 30-point triple-double, has been done by someone that age, except for he and LeBron James. So fantastic. And also, the Kings are not Kangsing it up.
The Kangs.
They are 6-3 as of today. They are killing it and looking impressive. But Sean says Darren is better than the Warriors. That's his statement.
I like how you're I can't defend that.
I can't.
In the text message, you're I can't defend.
That's Sean's statement. Darren's full stats for the week is 21.7, 5.3 boards, 9.3 assists, and 1.7 steals. He is shooting incredibly well. 56, 50, his free throw line is garbage at 71, but I'm going to forgive that because he is putting this team on his back. When he's in the game, he's fantastic. His plus minus on off is... Ooh.
They're winning games. And that's the Kings are right now...
To be fair, they beat bad teams. Miami... Orlando, Atlanta.
I'm going to push that to the side right now because eventually for a lot of teams, it's about to go down. It's going to get real as the season keeps going.
Do you see the Kings' next 6 games?
I'm not looking at their schedule.
Go pull up the schedule. I'll hold for time because look. Well,
I'll hold for time.
Well, these are impressive performances, and I do love this Kings team, and I know they don't have Bogey out there, so they're going to get better. And Belly is shooting at an impressive rate.
1, 2.
Go ahead and just read off the next couple games.
I'm going to put wins and losses to them.
Just tell us out team names, please.
So at Milwaukee,
that's a hard one.
Home against Toronto.
That's a hard one.
Home against Minnesota.
It's toss-up.
Home against LA. They got LeBron. Anything's possible.
Yeah, totally.
Could be a loss, could be a win.
Yeah.
At home against San Antonio.
Ooh.
DeMar DeRozan's playing pretty on fire right now. And then at Memphis, who could even be a tough one.
Memphis is a very good team right now.
The first break in your schedule, and it feels weird to say this, is at Houston and then home against the Thunder.
Which neither one of those could be a break because the Thunder are on a roll right now.
If they start...
They are. The Thunder are winning. They just dumpstered over the Wizards.
And if they continue that and just start
the Rockets are the only one where it's we'll wait and see who's healthy by that point.
James Harden is hurt at this point. Yeah. The Rocket fans are going to say that.
Eric Gordon's also hurt.
But this could potential. And then after that, after those 2 games, Utah, Golden State, Utah, and then the Clippers, and then the Pacers, and then you get Phoenix. So basically all of November will happen.
So here's the deal, Kings fans.
Come see us in December.
I love what you've done. But this screams of last year's Orlando team.
What kind? I mean, anything bringing up Orlando
came out the gates.
They did.
And they were shooting an incredible rate from 3, and they were winning games left and right. And I called them Oakleys, and I was so incredibly wrong.
Dave's this is why I'm bringing them up, because I was wrong.
I was wrong, and I'm happy to admit I was wrong. This Kings team has done a fantastic job to start the year. I mean, they have some quality wins on there. They did beat Memphis. They did beat OKC. That's the problem though. It's OKC still hadn't found their stride yet. Memphis, I'll give that game it was a close game. We'll see where the next one comes.
You want to hear something funny?
Sure.
So the Magic, who you brought up last year.
Yeah.
So if we were sitting at this point last year, they're 6-2.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you want to know what they were after November?
Sure.
After the 29th, and then when their next game on December 1st, 8-13. They won 2 games in all of November. 2 games. That was against New York, who was bad, and Phoenix, who was bad.
That's what I'm afraid of. Because look, Kings fans, I'm rooting for you. I hate the Celtics having that pick.
You don't want them to have that pick be a high one.
I either want that pick to be the number 1 overall, or I want it to be in the teens. I want that value to be garbage for the Celtics. And that's just me being, a fan of the process. So put my biases out there, but Sacramento, I love what you're doing. Your young core is impressive. Bagley's out there popping off, and you're getting contributions across the board. But De'Aaron Fox is really, truly the heart and soul of this team right now, and I am so glad that he is exceeding expectations because I thought, maybe he'll be like John Wall-esque, he'll be in the shadow of, and right now he looks like the real deal already.
Well, and I mean, also, I'll be on the side of just come see me in December. If you guys are great record in December, all right, I'll give you credit. But let's see what you do against this tough schedule.
The heart of the West.
And
the playoff team was of the East.
Right?
Yeah.
You start off Milwaukee, Toronto, which is hey, we're going to play the East. Oh, wait, shit, we get those two teams.
You get the top 2 or 3 teams from the East, yeah.
But let's transfer in really quickly to just fantasy update from the MVP League. We got better. It got better as we are now 6th out of 13. Mike's still holding it down. He's still the number 1.
Congratulations. You are killing it for fantasy right now.
Every week, though. It's kind of hard when you got Steph, Zach LaVine. I almost want to trade for Zach LaVine. But
it's tempting.
I would give up... Who from our team would I give up?
Just remember,
this is not this is not an actual trade because Sean will veto anything I do say.
I mean, look, we're playing the long game. We have DeMarcus Cousins. He will be playing again in over a month. Just over a month.
No, I get that, but
that will fix some problems. We're middle of the pack. We're just within striking distance.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, there are things on our team that I feel like we can get better with, but
absolutely,
Zach LaVine is one of those where it's like, man, like
he's having a great year.
Zach LaVine's doing great.
We'll get to that later.
Joel Embiid, Karis LeVert, who you had as a wet boy already.
Embiid and LeVert on your team.
Julius Randle.
Oh man,
he had
especially with AD out. He
Bobby
is soaking
Portis
up.
before he was out. He's got Josh Hart.
Yeah,
and then he's got on his bench just Dennis Schroeder and Boban.
Yeah.
So I mean, his team's phenomenal.
Great job.
His team is absolutely phenomenal. Here's the thing. This is the only question I have. Usually Sean says, hey, do you have somebody in mind that you have to add?
Yeah.
I want to run this by you. And I'm going to throw up a special graphic for this.
Sure.
I'm going to give you player A and player B. Mm-hmm. You tell me which one you'd rather have on our team. Yeah. Ready for this? This is going to be player A. So he averages about 30 minutes a game. He makes about 5 out of 9.
Can you move the mic some more? I don't think... Well, I don't think you've done it enough.
I had to.
Just swing it around one full time.
I moved it once, and then I was like, "Oh shoot, I can't see really well."
Need some WD-40 for this office.
I do. But we've got 30 minutes a game.
Yep.
He makes about. I'll round up, so 5 out of 10. So he's a 50% for field goal shooter.
That's pretty good.
Has not missed a free throw. Averages about 2 free throws a game.
Okay.
And from 3, he's about. I'll round up again, about 2 for 4. On 3-pointers. So he's a 50% or just under 44.4 free throw shooter. He gets 3.6 rebounds, 0.5 steals, 0.3 blocks, and averages 13.4 points per game. Or would you rather have this guy? He plays about 19 minutes, so not as many minutes, but he makes about, compared to 5, he makes about 4 field goals a game, but his field goal percentage is a 52.9 compared to 44.4. Free throws, he makes about 1 a game, averages about 1 a game, but he does miss some. He's at 71% from the foul line. From 3-point, he makes about 1 for every 2 or 3, so he's at a 45% from 3. 4.3 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 1.1 steals, and averages 10 points a game.
Quite a bit of defense on that second guy.
Mm-hmm. Who would you rather have on your team? The guy who is an obvious starter or the guy who is an obvious bench player?
Depends what you need. I mean, for our team, it sounds like we're hurting for the free throw percentage.
Which we did get a boost in this week. The things that we are lowest on are... free throw percentage. We're about 4. We're 12 is the best.
Yeah,
so we're 4 there, and we have 4 for blocks.
Yeah, so I would probably go with the first guy for the free throw percentage, even though in the blocks, lean towards the second, I think. But I'd probably, whoever the first guy was.
Do you want to take a guess at who the first guy was?
No, I think the second guy's like Jaren Jackson Jr., though.
No, the second guy is Lance Stevenson.
Oh, wow.
A guy who I have been the last couple of weeks saying, hey, like maybe we should give a look at. Because I look at those block numbers. Yeah, but... he's not like his percentage because the free
70
throw,
is not good,
but it's not the worst on our team. Like our team is averaging. Let's see, for free throws, we are averaging 74. So okay, he'd bring us down a little bit,
which we're already very low.
Quite like it wouldn't bring us down.
We're already a bad free throw team, and you're trying to advocate for someone who's going to make us worse.
But it's somebody who is going to bring us in. Like the block thing is what I'm thinking about. Like. That is just one that I wanted to throw out there of like...
Who was the second guy?
The first guy was Malcolm Brogdon.
Yeah.
So like, for me, I'm looking
He's clean.
I'm looking at our team and I'm just not... There are some, like, Blake Griffin is good. We're already behind on free throws because we've got Andre Drummond on our team. Like, there's no way around that.
Yep.
But that was one thing I looked at was Malcolm Brogdon. I am not a huge fan of Malcolm Brogdon. For our fantasy team, I think there are better options out there. And with him, it's going to become, all right, what do we really need? Because he's not one of those guys that it's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to throw out. You know who actually wouldn't be bad?
Who wouldn't be bad?
I'm going to throw out this guy. And you're probably going to be like, he doesn't help us out at blocks. This guy averages about 55% from the field.
Oh, okay.
72% from the foul line, so 28% from 3.
So not really helping us out.
And he's got about 8 rebounds a game.
Okay.
And about one block a game. He's a guy that we dropped earlier that you advocated for on the San Antonio Spurs.
Paul
Gasol. That is Paul Gasol's numbers right now, and he is a free agent.
His free throw percentage is pretty low for Pau. Pau's a great shooter.
Mm-hmm. That's one that I looked at. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to look at what he's doing right now, because I know earlier on it's like, okay, should we keep him? Should we not? And you were one of the advocates for keeping him. So that's our fantasy update. Congratulations for Mike. You're still the leader in the clubhouse right now through a couple weeks. And let us know what you think about our Wet Boys and the fantasy league down below in the comment section. But
we need to see some blockbuster trades.
We do. I'm going to say it. You, I, and Sean. Well, Sean, you, and I. That's a better way to say it. We got to come up with a trade that we got to offer somebody, because I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't know exactly what we need to do, but I just look at our team and I'm not happy with what I'm seeing on paper to where some things need to change. But let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section.